Okay, boom. What up, guys? We are live. NFL Fantasy Today show. It's week 7. We got, we got a London game kicking off. It's me and Nathan. We're going to be previewing the games, answering questions, start sit trades, anything you got. Nathan, what's cooking?
Not too much. Survived. I lost to Buka in a lot of teams last week, but
Yeah.
managed to come out positive on the week. Got a couple 6-0 teams left. One 2-4 team, but that's my worst team I got. So pretty in the mix around the board.
Okay, nice. 6-0. Jesus, yeah, I got none of those. I'm doing pretty well, though. But we got Ibuka said he's questionable, right?
I think they called him a true game time decision.
Yeah, I'd be shocked.
Yeah, I'm looking for other options where I can, but just pick up Tez Johnson if you have a Buka.
Yeah. I'm starting Tez in the league, but Mike Evans is probably going to play. He was
Mhm.
practicing. Any other late additions? I saw the Rams are up 14-0 now.
Mm.
Devontae's got a touchdown, so I guess that's good without Puka. But would you have started Stafford this week?
I would have been a little turned away by the inclement weather in the London game without Puka, so I think there was a lot of stuff going against them. But I personally don't have him in any league, so I'd have to make the choice.
Okay, nice. Because yeah, pull up your chart here. The Jag secondary, again, is terrible, right?
hmm
Like let's see, right? The eight QB points allowed, eight's the wide receiver. So,
hmm
uh, you
And
know,
teams are throwing with the fourth most neutral pass against them too, so
there we go.
you're
That's the money
gearing up
stat.
against them.
So yeah, guys, anyway, hit us with questions. I'll probably try, hopefully, let them build up a bit, and then we'll just keep hitting them out because answering questions is kind of the best part of the pot. But I guess we'll just jump into a couple of games here. So I remember I saw earlier in the week the Cleveland Miami game was supposed to have like 50-mile-per-hour gusts, side to side, rain, and it was kind of a only start like Quinshon Judkins and Devon Achane.
Yeah.
But Larry's weather report is a little bit better, but 25, 30 mile per hour. What are you doing there? Are you starting or like are you starting Waddle? Obviously, Judy's kind of hurt and sucks.
Uh, you can start Waddle, but I would try if you have options elsewhere. Just because of the volume he should get. I mean, it's not good volume, but it's more of a guaranteed play than maybe someone you're picking up off the waiver wire today to play.
Yeah, that's probably true. It maybe depends on your league size, but it's just I've seen too many of these win games before, and two is just not good at any variables. So
hmm
it's just like I could see him having 150 yards. Dylan Gabriel probably might even have 100. Um,
hmm
where you did the running back ranking? Where's Judkins? Did Judkins get a nice bump because of the weather? Plus, I mean, the Miami gets to run is they're giving up fifth most running back points.
Yeah, I want to say I can't remember exactly where, but I want to say he was a top 12 option this week for sure. Just a ton of volume, great matchup. Things should funnel through the ground with the weather. Um, yeah, just a lot to like about this one for him for both running backs.
So what about Achane though? Because he's more of a receiving back than a running back. It's kind of like a 50-50 split.
hmm
Did he get like a less of a bump because of the weather, or is it a bigger because all the passes are going to have to kind of be checked down around the line of scrimmage? So it's one of those kind of reverse things where it could actually benefit him.
Yeah, I think that it's more so like that because it's a dot is so short on a lot of his touches. It shouldn't have as big of an impact as more like the downfield threats would.
Okay, but then we also got the Cleveland defense, which is
hmm
among the best in the league, right? Um, let's see,
Maybe that'll
pull.
help. Maybe he'll be slippery.
So yeah, Browns are 32nd in running back points allowed, right? So that's
hmm
like kind of weather versus defense. Maybe I guess you just split the baby. I mean,
hmm
you have to start a chain, right?
Yeah, you have
A
to.
chain. Okay, let's pick another game here.
One thing before we go away, I do like Harold Fannin as a tight end in this game because his A dot is so short. He works around the line of scrimmage a lot of short, shallow routes. I think that he could be a fine like PPR machine in this game.
And I think Njoku's out.
Yeah, Njoku was rolled out on Friday, so Fannin will be getting, and they're already with the two tight ends. They were second in tight end usage behind the Cardinals over the last 4 weeks of the season, and now Fannin will just get both workloads essentially.
Okay. And then we got a little Bowers update. He's not going to play. He's probably not going to play week 7. Then they got the bye week 8. So he'll play week 9. It looks like. What would you do? Like you got these 6-0 teams. I know Raiders are your team, but would you be looking to trade for Bowers? Let's say if you're 4-2, 5-1, 6-0, and then maybe you get the tight end 1 for that stretch run.
Yeah, so one kind of little like silver lining, glimmer of hope I'm trying to give myself with the Raiders offense here is that Geno Smith came over and worked all offseason with 2 tight ends with Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer. And instantly, week 1, Brock Bowers goes out and gets hurt, and they have to completely limit his route tree going forward. And he's playing as half a version of himself. Even Michael Mayer's in concussion protocol for a few weeks this year, and he's playing without that. Michael Mayer came back in his first healthy game, had 5 for 50 and a score, and he looked like Geno's go-to guy for good portions of the game. So I think that game was a sign to buy low on Brock Bowers where you can. I think that he'll be a big player going forward for the back half of the season.
Okay, and then what about Jacoby Myers? There was talk of trading him earlier in the season. He hasn't had a good season. Now there's more talk. Do you think he gets moved? Like, would Tampa maybe trade for him with their injured wide receiver cores? Maybe the Niners. What do you like? Is he a buy low? Do you think maybe he'll stay? What are the possible scenarios?
I think it's more of a likelihood that he gets moved than anything. The Raiders are 2-4, and he's an expiring deal with the 2 rookies behind him, waiting to kind of get those opportunities available to them. I think that's very important for the Raiders' development in the future. So I think that yes, I would buy low because he's likely to go somewhere where he's going to actually get used.
So with Jack Betch and what is it Dante Thornton?
Yeah, it looks like Jack Besh is getting the bump in the opportunity share over Dante Thornton the last few weeks. I think like Dante Thornton only had 2 offensive snaps a week ago or something like that. So Besh would be the guy to have to take the next step, but I still think Trey Tucker is the number 1 guy in the Raiders receiving room.
Another touchdown. Stafford, he's got 3 touchdowns. Devontae Adams got 2. Jesus, I just know I'm playing Devontae in a couple places. It's not great. What about? And then let's just stay on Raiders here. We'll do a little Raiders here. Geno, what could they move him? Because they're not. They don't like what he's been doing. Who's the backup right now?
It's Kenny Pickett. I do think I still think they want to see this team perform with Brock Bowers fully healthy. I think Geno will get that chance. I don't think they move him.
Okay, or bench him?
They could bench him if things are still sour after Bowers gets back.
Because like in this hypothetical world, if they trade Jacoby, Bowers is back. I mean, he might have he might have the highest target share in the league, right? There's a chance Bowers is a top 5 wide receiver in the second half of the season if he's fully healthy and gets going. So I got a lot of Bauer stock, so I'm gonna pray on that. And then we also tight end, we got George Kittle back tonight. I had Jason on Tuesday. He said Kittle's full go, so that's great. So we get the tight ends, maybe elite tight end second half of the season, make a huge comeback.
Yeah, 100%.
And what I wanted to go to. So, okay, yeah, this is Raiders. So we got Raiders KC. We got Rashee Rice back. My favorite thing was on Twitter. People like, go trade for Rashee Rice. Like, like the guys who drafted him mid-round, who ate him for 6 weeks, are going to be like, yeah, take him for like Devontae Smith or AJ Brown. Like, let's even say you had Rashee Rice. Who would you trade him for? Like, I wouldn't have taken Devontae Adams, even though he's got 2 touchdowns, right? Like,
no, it's a short list for sure. There's probably like 4 receivers I might take over him. I'll try and name them.
Okay.
Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamar Chase.
What about Drake? Drake, JSN?
Drake London, I'd probably still take over him. JSN, I'd take over him.
Nico?
Yeah, probably still Nico. That one's close. I might like Rashee Rice more because of the way Mahomes is playing this year. And
right, yeah. I think Mahomes is QB1. Casey's back to being explosive. Worthy hasn't really made that like leap, even though he's kind of playing hurt. So we're like.
What about Puka?
Well, that's. I was just gonna say Puka, right? But I think with the bye week next week, you get healthy Puka. You still got to go Puka, but like I mean, Rashee Rice is going to get 10 targets, probably 7 grabs, have 80 yards and a touchdown, right? Against a
Yeah, that
terrible
feels like his
secondary.
floor.
He might double it.
Hmm. I agree.
Okay, so boom, boom, boom. Okay, and then we got this Pats Tennessee kind of Vrabel revenge game. Tennessee fired their coach. You know, they get that dead coach bounce, right? Teams historically fire their coach. I don't even know who's head coach of the Titans,
Oh man, I heard it once earlier this week.
because they fired both Callahans, right?
Mike McCoy.
Mike McCoy. Okay. But so they said they're going to simplify the offense for Cam Ward. Ty Spears, another healthy week, but the Pats are really good against the run, right? If we pull up this little chart here, right? We got the Patriots are 27th in running back points allowed, right? Whereas the Titans are third. What are you doing in that game? Because I mean, this Pats running back situation, right? Everyone loved Travion Henderson. He had the preseason breakout, but he's not getting usage. But Ramondre keeps fumbling. But everyone says one fumble away. I remember a guy on Twitter said that. Everyone keeps saying one fumble away, but how many? So
You're a
what are you
fumble
doing
away
this
from
game?
being a fumble away. um, I think there's like, because of the optimism in the game script and the matchup that the Patriots get, you can probably start both of them and then just hope for the best.
You start both.
Not in the same lineup, but like around your teams. If you have Stevenson, I would play him and kind of just hope he gets enough work to get home. And because I expect it to be pretty split, and it's one of the best matchups you could have as a running back.
Because they're third and also maybe positive game script. Okay, okay. That checks out. And then so Diggs was questionable. He's going to play. I mean, he hasn't scored, but he's great when he plays, but his snap share is really low. Are you still playing him, or like the Keyshawn Butte had 2 touchdowns last week? Do you think his boom or bust potential is more appealing because he's got 4 or 5 touchdowns in the year to Diggs? Who would you rather play, Butte or Diggs?
Yeah, I would kind of treat it just as that. If you need a ceiling, I would play Butte, and if you need a floor, I would play Diggs. Yeah, just because I expect the target share to be consistent for Diggs, and then Butte should just get all the vertical high value looks.
Because I saw Tre'Davious Ward. Okay, he's on the Colts. I always confuse those ex-Chiefs cornerbacks, right? They had Ward, and then they had the other guy. Who's the other guy? Titans
Snead
had?
went to the Titans, right?
Yeah, right. I don't know if but he's awesome. And then now the Chiefs have McDuffie. I don't know how they're so good at developing these elite corners, but okay. Anything in that other New England game? So Drake May. So if the Titans 29th in QB points allowed, does that scare you off, or is like Drake May's just balling right now?
Yeah, you just start Drake May. Just expect the offense to hit and just hope he gets to be a part of it.
Yeah, but like, okay, you're starting Drake May over obviously anyone in that Miami Cleveland, and obviously starting Mahomes over him. You're starting Drake May over Bryce and Justin Fields. What about Caleb Williams first at home versus Saints?
Weather's supposed to be a bit of an issue there downfield. Or on, like, I think winds are supposed to be 20 to 30 miles an hour in that one. So I'm a little bit nervous about the weather, and I'd probably just play Drake May against the Titans.
Okay. And then what about Jalen Hurts? Right, playing the Vikings in Minnesota. Minnesota's that weird run funnel this season when they were like I think maybe the best team against the run last year. I still don't trust their secondary, but we know Philly's going to game script it, right? If you're bad against the run, they're going to run the ball. So would you play Hurts over Drake May, and then would you play AJ Brown and Devontae over like Diggs and Butte, which seems crazy?
Oh man, that's really gross. I'd probably play the Eagles there because I feel like the Vikings might invite a better passing game script because I feel like the Vikings are more likely to put up points on the Eagles than the Titans are to score points at all.
That's true.
Um,
Okay.
so I would maybe just tend to hope that the Vikings invite the pass against the Eagles.
Okay, guys. So, all right, if you're watching on Twitter, come over to YouTube, like, subscribe, drop some questions. We want to answer some questions because that's great. Okay, so now Carolina Jets is kind of the the matchup of the week, even because it's Both teams are kind of, I don't know, they don't even know what direction they're going in. But the Jets, Garrett Wilson's out. I don't even think they have a wide receiver you'd start. Maybe you go with the Mason Taylor, as he'll be the wide receiver one. So you did tight end rank. Where is Mason Taylor this week for you?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I think he was around the tight end 10. But I probably should have considered the Garrett Wilson inactive a little bit more into that ranking.
Panthers second in tight end points allowed too.
Yeah, it could be just what 15 targets for Mason Taylor. Like, that's not he had 12 earlier this season and 9 in the week before or in the week before that. So I wouldn't rule it out of the realm of possibilities. If you have a PPR league, try and get Mason Taylor in where you can.
So what do we do with these defenses, right? The Jets kind of were supposed to be good, but they haven't. But they just allowed 11 to Denver. Panthers defense is kind of bad, but also sometimes good. Would you like if you got Brees Hall? Are you salivating? Right, but the Panthers are still they're 20th in running back points allowed after being 32nd last season. Are you salivating at Brees Hall? And then we're obviously going to talk about the Panthers running back situation.
Yeah, Brees Hall is not allowed to salivate as long as he is part of the Jets offense. It just feels like the floor is so low with them that it could just be 25 carries for 80 yards, and that's your game from him, which obviously is better than most RB1s. But like for what you're trying to get with this great matchup on paper, it just
maybe on paper.
yeah, exactly. The Panthers are so hard to figure out. Like 32nd and 30th in pass rush and run stop, but they can find a way to shut out the Falcons and do weird stuff like that.
Yeah, because I mean they just played the Cowboys last week, but they also Dowdle ran for another 200, but Pickens was the wide receiver one, right? So it's just you don't know. Maybe it's a home away thing. So right, bad defenses don't travel, but the Jets are kind of incapable of doing anything, right? So I mean, I don't know. With that, does Justin Fields get a bump this week because with no Garrett Wilson, maybe he's got to run more because he's got no one to throw to?
Yeah, I would say his floor is a bit higher this week because he's going to have to run more.
But also he's not going to get, Wilson had like a 35% target share, right? He was crazy. So it's just, there's a lot of zigzags where it's hard to really get on top of it. Okay, Panthers running backs. We got Dowdle. He's got back-to-back games over 200 yards, but now Chuba's healthy. They wanted Chuba to be the RB1, but obviously, it'd be stupid to, you could have Saquon, and if Dowdle came and did that, you got to give him carries, right? So what do you think? Who starts? Do you think 50-50 timeshare, ride the hot hand?
Yeah, I think it's a hot hand situation. I could see like them splitting workloads and then Dowdle just taking over to start the second half, something similar to that. But it's if it's a hot hand thing, it really is just a coin flip, and you're just hoping that. I would say that Dowdle is obviously more likely to keep the hot hand he's had for the last 2 weeks versus the Chuba Hubbard coming off an injury.
But what are you doing? Like, let's say if you got maybe just a flex spot available and you got Rico and Chuba, which one are you starting? Because we got James Cook on bye, we got Derrick Henry on bye, so we got some big running backs, holes to fill. Bucky's still hurt. So would you try and play both if you could?
Like honestly, like that's not a terrible bet. It's a Jets matchup, and both could find a way to get home. But if I just have to pick one, I'm taking Dowdle.
Okay. Yeah, that's gonna be weird. I got Chuba in a couple leagues, and I kind of have to play him because I just don't have the running back depth. So, I mean, should you use the pass work maybe? Right?
It could be the thing where they just like they he gets 40 yards and then they give him a red zone carry to like kind of give him a boost to like hey, you're still our lead back, you're still our guy.
Panthers
We
are
don't know.
looking. Does okay? So now with this double running back attack, does that make you like Bryce more or less? Because he's been okay, but Chuba's more of a receiving back. Daddle's more just some kind of a power back. So Chuba's better for Bryce, but this double running attack it's kind of like Detroit light, right? But Goff is still able to succeed. I don't know where are you
Yeah,
at?
yeah, it should bode well for like the team's like overall offensive production. So in a way, it should make you feel better about him because I feel like if Dowdle is just basically dropped in as an extra weapon to what was already an effective ish Panthers offense with Chuba Hubbard, you know, um, yeah, definitely. But I do think it could also hurt their red zone passing tendencies if they have two good running backs. So maybe Tedero McMillan is a little less likely to score touchdowns this year with two active running backs in this backfield.
Yeah, we just saw their 30th in wide receiver usage to the Panthers. Okay, so how do we explain this 32nd in pass rush win rate, 30th? So that's essentially the worst defense in the league. I mean, that is the worst defense in the league. But why isn't it showing up in the games? Obviously, Dallas smoked them. The Pats smoked them. Is that one Falcons game outlier? We just throw it away and then call them a bad defense?
Yeah, I would say so. I think the Falcons were still figuring things out when they played the Panthers, and I think the Panthers took advantage of that. So I'd say the Panthers are a good enough defense to pick on the bad teams in the league. But if you have like your fantasy stud, you should feel more than confident against them.
Okay, okay. And let's keep going here. Boom, boom, boom. Carolina. So Saints Bears is just ugly, but um, DJ Moore was hospitalized after that Sunday. Was it
Mhm.
Monday nighter? After the Monday nighter, but now he's good to go. Do you trust that? Because he's also been terrible all season, but he had a good game there.
Yeah, I've been down on DJ Moore this season in general, just because his it's just been all Odunze really, and uh,
But
it,
Odunze's
it
not like some target monster. It's not like he's getting 8 catches, right? He's doing it on like kind of 4 or 5.
I think it's a combination of Odunze already doing it and then Luther Burden kind of chomping at the bit, almost flashing here and there with the post by rookie bump, maybe in order for him with an injured DJ Moore, like kind of maybe giving him even more of a nudge to get more looks.
Yeah, this Bears offense, it's like would you say it's been what would you give their grade this season? Because obviously, the Ben Johnson, they've obviously better than last, but 17th EPA per play, 14th EPA per pass. Obviously the run game we thought would be bad, even though their O line was supposed to be top 5. I mean, their only good numbers here, like the O line's doing great, and their fantasy wide receiver usage is 4th. But the defense is with the Panthers, probably the worst defense in the league. Second, Dallas, but like they're getting crushed. The numbers are bad and getting crushed. At least Carolina's numbers are bad and are only kind of getting crushed. So are the Bears like that top 5 fantasy dream team? Like Cincy last year was the best, right? Because they give up 30, put up 30, and then this year Dallas is doing that same thing, and it's the best. If you got Pickens, you're probably top 4 seed. Are the Bears right there, next in line?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, because their offense is so good. Like, I think Miami with the healthy Tyreek could have contended for that with how bad their defense is this year.
Yeah, that's nice.
But Chicago, and honestly, you asked for my grade on the offense. I think I'd probably put it somewhere around a B plus so far, with optimism going towards the back half of the season. Given that it's Ben Johnson's first 6 games as head coach with the Bears, I think they've done pretty good at kind of starting to kind of work out the kinks a little bit going towards the second half of the year.
Okay, I'm just looking for K. Do you know what's Caleb ranked fantasy? So he's down to QB 13. Is that wait in fantasy points per game? He's QB 8. So that's kind of about where you'd want him. But where can they improve? Do you think they give Luther Burden a little more love? Because Colston Loveland hasn't really done anything. He's been banged up. Because it seems like they're still short one little, kind of spark.
I feel like they used a lot more running back screens and that Monday Night Football matchup, and it seemed to kind of help keep keep things rolling for them, kind of open things up a bit. But you'd really like either DJ Moore or Luther Burden to get more of a consistent, or even a tight end to get more consistently downfield with Rome Dunze.
Okay, so this Bears 30-second neutral pass. So that means teams are throwing on them the most.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just because the secondary's been bad, or maybe they've been down. The offense is good because we got the Saints are 30th, Bears are 32nd. That means both teams are going to be airing it out.
Oh no, I'm sorry. That is the opposite. My mistake. The teams are running it more when playing these two teams.
Okay, that seems so counterintuitive because the Bears. Who's lit up the Bears on the ground?
Um, give me a second while I pull it up. But the Bears were like a bottom three rushing matchup last season, so maybe that teams are carrying over tendencies based on that expectation. Um,
Because it's just like they're fourth in QB points allowed, seventh in wide receiver points allowed, but teams are throwing on them the least, the least in neutral. It's just one of those stats that doesn't line up.
yeah, and I think it might be more of teams picking their matchups because the Bears were down their slot corner for a few games this season, and we
Yeah,
saw like Amon
Jalen
Ross. Yeah,
Jalen Johnson with the Y.
no, not him. The there's another guy. But he was out for games this time at periods this year too. But Amon-Ra St. Brown had 3 touchdowns against them. I think I'm remembering a Cowboys matchup after that, but I don't know if that sounds right.
Yeah, I
Um,
think Pickens lit him up.
yeah, that's right. But not a whole lot. Ashton Genty had his big game against them for 3 touchdowns and 150 scrimmage yards. So that tracks. The lines lit him up for 40 fantasy points combined between Gibbs and Monty
Okay.
on the ground.
So the Raiders are first in neutral pass rate. That which makes sense because their run D was good. Their secondary sucks, but then they're 24th in QB points allowed. It's just so weird. So teams are throwing on them the most, but aren't that effective.
Yeah, I think it's probably because they're throwing to get down to the red zone and then just pounding it home with the running back. That's the way I would track that, but I can't. I don't have the stats in front of me to know if that tracks.
Okay, well we just got a question here. We'll jump in, guys. Hit us up with some questions, guys. Come on. If you're on Twitter, jump over to YouTube to give it. Okay, Reese Bird. That is a crazy background. I don't even who is that? First of all.
That's
Ricky.
14. Is that McLaurin?
Oh, I thought it was a Niner. Okay, whatever. Okay.
I think it's a Commanders.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I'm wrong.
What's up, guys? Full PPR. Here's my lineup: Collins, Waddle, Kittle, Fannin Jr. in the flex. I have Wandale and Ibuka on the bench. Should I put Wandale instead of someone? So I'm thinking it's Wandale, Wandale or Waddle here, right? Because I am freaked out by that weather. Like Waddle is a true wide receiver one now with Tyreek out of the way.
But
But
Wandale's going against Denver, and Pat Surtain.
Yeah, but he's probably not going to get the Pat Surtain lockdown, right?
Yeah, working out of the slot maybe. Yeah, full PPR. I would maybe be okay with putting Wandale in over Waddle.
What about the Ibuka, right? You can wait, right? Because it's a Monday at 7. Would you wait? Because I mean, see if you can play. But even if he played, maybe he's a decoy.
Yeah, that's tough. I always hate starting game time decisions. I avoid them wherever possible, even if it's a mild downgrade. Just to get the security of knowing that I have someone out there.
So maybe I guess because you don't really have a great fix for Waddle, you just risk it. Because he's a wide receiver one. Cleveland is great. I mean, their defense is awesome, but if run versus pass, let's like 32nd running back points allowed. Like you really can't run on him. I think you trust Waddle. Maybe he just gets maybe they run him, do some like gadget plays. But it's just about touchdowns, right? I know Waller's been getting those touchdowns, but. And the Denver one, yeah, because I mean the Jets just put up 11 versus Denver. So I don't see Scatterboo and Jackson Dart, destroying that Denver defense. So it's tough. It's tough. It's just about really. Do you wait on Ibuka to Monday night because you could maybe then slide in Tez Johnson if he doesn't play.
Yeah, if you have the flexibility and the roster spot to pick up Des Johnson, I would probably take that option over Waddle or Wandale.
Okay, okay. Okay, let's keep going here. We got Washington, Dallas. So we got CD Lamb is going to be back. The Commanders' terrible secondary, but so obviously Lamb full start, smash, smash. But like Pickens, how much downgrade do you give him? Is he just now like that? He's T Higgins essentially, elite wide receiver 2 who could still put up 100 and a touchdown, or is it like because
Yeah.
before he was only getting about 4 targets, catching 3 of them. One's got to be big.
Yeah, I would say that the Cowboys you can literally just copy and paste your take on the 2024 Bengals and just apply it to this team. It they're gonna throw the ball a ton. Dak Prescott is playing surgical. He's automatic, and there's no reason why he shouldn't be able to support 2 fantasy wide receivers right now with all the volume he's pouring in.
Yeah,
Because
because people. Okay.
we've seen Ferguson, we've seen Flournoy. He's done it with these guys on a weekly basis, and just plugging those stats onto CD Lamb and George Pickens. There's no reason why it shouldn't continue.
Yeah, this has got super shootout. What's the total? What a
It's
great
like
4 p.m. game. 52. Is it
52.
52?
I think so.
But
53 and a half.
53 G. But so Pickens, like obviously you play Pickens over Waddle. Where's Pickens? Is Pickens really? Do you treat him as better than some of these wide? Like, would you play Pickens over AJ Brown?
Yeah, one like 100 times out of 100. It's
Okay.
not even close.
Pickens over Rome.
Yeah,
Wow. Okay, but Rashee Rice or Pickens?
Rashee Rice.
Okay. So what if you were someone? If someone was smart enough to maybe draft Dak, Pickens, and Lamb, like I did, are you just you just
You
put in
just
the
throw them
W?
all in. You start them all. You
No,
start
of
them all.
course. But are you pre-counting a W? Like
Oh man, you
if I
got it.
gave you 70 points over or under for the 3 of them this week.
I'd probably the over half PPR.
Yeah, for sure.
Over.
That's 30, 20, 20, right? Like that's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I like good
Is it just
matchup,
because
high total.
does the Washington factor fit into that, or is it more just because Jaden Daniels is going to light them up, so this could be a 40-35 game, or is it is it mostly Dallas oriented because the defense is so bad? Trayvon Diggs got a concussion at home or something, so
Oh, I didn't hear that.
yeah.
But it is a Cowboys centric. I'm just all about this team just having to score 35 points a game to have a chance to win.
Okay. So I just want to check because I know Washington is a pass funnel, but let's just check it out quickly here. Commanders. Wow. Oh, I guess their stats are terrible, but I guess because it's without Jaden. But on defense, 10th to wide receiver points, 9th to QB points, 14th running back. So it's not as skewed, but that defense is actually really their 5th in pass rush win rate, 2nd in run stop win rate. Wow, that's crazy. And I think that's just schedule related.
Yeah, it could be. That's what you kind of have to factor into some of these like stark, these contrasting stats that don't make sense. You have to dig a little deeper. I don't have it in front of me, but I would definitely chalk it up to something similar.
Okay, let's go. We'll stay in this game for just a second. So Terry McLaurin's still out. So Debo, like, would you start? Okay, because the Dallas offense is so juicy, but the Dallas defense is just as juicy, right? So like, would you start Debo or Pickens?
Debo is out.
Oh, Debo's out. Oh no.
Debo's out. Yeah.
So what is it? Luke McCaffrey.
Luke McCaffrey, Jalen Lane, and Chris Moore are the. Chris Moore had like 5 for 42 and a touchdown last week, or something similar, something around there. He produced last week. Luke McCaffrey's popped up for a couple touchdowns here and there, and Jalen Lane has seen the least work of the 3.
Oh, well, that's embarrassing. I didn't know that. So again, I got basketball drafts like every other day, so I'm a little split. Ertz is going to play, but what do we do? Because I mean, the whole thing is getting guys against Dallas. Are you taking a flyer on any of these Washington guys? Because somebody's going to have 80 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, I'm starting Luke McCaffrey in a dynasty league that I need to
I
fill a
like him.
section. I do too. He's popped. He makes big plays. And this might be the first chance we get to see him with like a full workload on his plate.
Okay, but so, but if we're talking Luke McCaffrey, so what are we doing? Like over like any of the Cleveland guys, like Judy. What about the Green Bay guys? I guess you're not starting him over like Dobbs
Or Golden. No.
Golden. No. Okay.
Oh, this is a good time for this question here.
Okay. All right. Brendan Tierney, full PPR start. Luke McCaffrey, Matthew Golden. All right. Read our
Yeah.
minds here. So we got
Uh,
Arizona is not going to play Kyler. We still Christian Watson. I don't think he's going to play. Right, Jaden Reed's still out, so it's Dobbs, Kraft, Golden. Golden is like right on the cusp of breaking out. He is just about to get there. But so is this the game? Who's the ceiling play? Who's the floor play?
oh man.
And who's Luke McCaffrey? I'm terrible spelling too.
I think they're. You're starting Matthew Golden here, but I think Luke McCaffrey might have the ceiling just because of the game script that could go crazy in Dallas.
Okay, but yeah, Arizona is maybe better with Jacoby too, but they're 22nd wide receiver points allowed, 22nd QB points allowed. So that banged up secondary, I guess, has gotten a little healthier. Right, Packers. But Packer third in EPA, like the Packers offense is actually awesome. They're just kind of like
and Josh Jacobs is hurt. Game time decision questionable with like an illness and a calf injury. So if he does tip out, you could see the Green Bay tend towards the pass a bit more in this one too.
So who's stepping up for Jacobs then? I know Marshawn Lloyd's probably not healthy, and it's Emmanuel Wilson.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be Emmanuel Wilson, and then Chris Brooks will probably split in behind him.
Okay, so we're at Matthew Golden, I think. Like McCaffrey's a fun play, but we don't even know what his snap share is going to be. We know at least Golden's out there in those two wide receiver sets.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
McCaffrey's like the mystery box Darto this week.
Yeah, but it wrapped in Dallas wrapping paper, which is just always a nice little boost.
Yeah.
Okay. So Philly, Minnesota, kind of a fun game. Wentz is still going to start. Where like it's Philly defense isn't really close to what it was last year, and they lost Quinion Mitchell last game, right?
Yeah, is he still out? He's good to go this week, though.
Okay, we'll see. I guess he's still starting Barkley. Well, he's starting Barkley because it's a run funnel. But if it was flipped, if Minnesota was great against the run, like, is there a world you'd sit Barkley? Because it's like he's under 4 yards a carry. He's getting the volume. I don't think he's broken one for 30 plus yards this season.
Just no explosives at all from Saquon this year, and that's what is really just point blank the difference in his production this year to last. He still has the same volume. He's just not getting the big plays at all.
Yeah, 3.4 yards per carry. That is gross. But obviously, Justin Jefferson full board. Jordan Addison, where is he in your wide receiver 2 kind of chart? Like, obviously, Pickens is above him. Higgins is above him.
Probably, I mean, is Ibuka even the wide receiver 2 in Tampa Bay still, or is it Mike Evans?
Mike Evans probably, but they're both hurt. So I was thinking, like you're starting
Devontae.
Well, but no, in the games that are playing right,
okay, gotcha.
Like DJ Moore, are you starting Addison over DJ Moore? I just had one in my brain. KC, Xavier Worthy, or
that's close. I'd probably take Worthy, but that's real close.
Because that Philly secondary's been really banged up.
I'll take Addison actually, because Worthy still doesn't look like he was playing full speed the last time he was on the field, and with Rashee Rice back, I could see his target share kind of dipping a bit until he is full strength.
Okay. Well, let's keep going here. I'm going to do a quick refresh, make sure there's no news. So it says Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard are expected to trade series early with the flexibility to change based on the flow of the game. So that's one of those non-update updates.
Yeah.
And then boom, boom, boom. Anything else here?
I saw something pop up. Ibuka, or Mike Evans is expected to play, and Ibuka has a real chance.
Wow, that's crazy. But it's a Monday night, so it's like you can't. What do you do unless you got that flexibility? If you've got, you got somebody else you can play. Like even if you had like Tesla, who's dope, it's not like you're gonna slide him in if Ibuka's out, right? Like that's just not enough of a bump.
Yeah, I think we saw Tim Patrick catch a touchdown for the Lions last week.
So this Jacobs thing, though, right? This game time thing, but it's the 4 o'clock, right? That's what kills you. 1 o'clock, who cares? You get the info, but he's so good that you have to wait, right?
Yeah, you pick up Emmanuel Wilson if you have the room for it, and then just play the starter.
Okay. And so it's just one of those. It's like even if you had CMC questionable for a Monday, right? You just have to you have to risk it, right?
Yeah.
I know he's playing Sunday, but okay. Okay. Let's keep going here. So yeah, that Green Bay Arizona game, right? So Kyler's going to be out. Jacoby, who I thought was the worst QB in the league last year, was great last week. So is he actually better for Trey McBride? And how's Marvin Harrison Jr. playing if he got concussed last week?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that I don't know about the MHJ stand concussion, but I do think that Jacoby Brissett is 100% better for Trey McBride. At least for right now, it looks like it. I mean, if he's out there running routes all year long, and the first game with Jacoby Brissett, he doubles his production that he's put out in weeks prior. So he
Right,
hasn't.
that's a real stat.
No, not a real stat, but he hasn't had the elite finishes with Kyler that we're used to with him, and he finally gets one the second that he's with Jacoby Brissett.
True, it was a 1 year touchdown, but I'll take it as a
and the Packers, yeah, and the Packers are weak against tight ends. That is their one weak spot. They are allowing the fourth most fantasy points to tight ends on the season.
That makes me happy. Oh my god. Okay. So what about stupid Arizona running back room? DeMarcado's out. Right? I think it was around this time last week. They're like Bam Knight's the starter, but then Michael Carter still got the first snaps. So what are you doing there? Because the Green Bay is awesome against the run. They're going to be up. It's going to be negative game script. Are you starting either of them? And do you have a preference?
Bam Knight.
Third. If Jacobs is out, how do you rank all those backup running backs?
Okay.
I'll just.
All right. So to start, Bam Knight, he's not the starting running back, but he is the goal line back. That is 100% a truth. He got all three of the goal line opportunities in the 2 games they've had together, sharing the load. But Michael Carter is the more dynamic running back, and I think he's a better pass catcher too. So if he's the one I want to start in this game, because I think that that he could just see a bunch of dump off looks. But if I had to rank these backups on talent, I'd probably go Emmanuel Wilson, and then Michael Carter, and then Chris Brooks, and then Bam Knight.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Is it more you think because a lot game script because Green Bay is going to be up, so you're more leaning towards those Green Bay guys?
Yeah, I think so. Like I would take Emmanuel Wilson to be the lead back on the winning team to have the most chances to find production, and Michael Carter to be the lead back on the trailing team to see the most looks in the receiving game and kind of the open space touches.
Okay, but none of them like just as they're kind of a quad pack. They're all pretty close together, right?
Yeah, no one stands out of the 4, I don't think.
But like you would be who starting them over like Rachaad White? Would you take any of those 4 or Rachaad White?
I would take Rachaad White.
Okay. What about Woody Marks?
That's I'd probably take Emmanuel Wilson if he's starting, and then I would coin flip between him and Michael Carter.
Okay. That's enough. We're just gonna go for a few more minutes here, guys. So if you got any questions, hit us up. Let's do this. So Sunday nighter. So we got Atlanta at San Fran. It's kind of a super fun game on paper. George Kittle's back, my guy. I think Brock Purdy is going to be back. Juwan Jennings is playing with 5 broken ribs. I don't know what that means. But Atlanta, right? Drake London had, I think it was like 75% of the air yards last week. He's the only wide receiver to make a catch. He's Puka essentially right now, right? Except less injury prone, knock on wood, because I'm a big Drake guy. But the Falcons home road splits, I don't have in front of me, but they got to be crazy, right? Well, obviously we're starting Drake, but like, are we confident in that Atlanta offense? Because now Fred Warner's out and Bosa's out. That Niners defense is in shambles.
And that's a good way to put it, in shambles. The Niners have the second most rookie snaps on defense this year, and losing Fred Warner in the middle to kind of help control the defense feels like there's going to be a ton of they're well coached. They have Robert Saleh back in the building, but I think
One
that
of his
there's
kids play.
I'm not sure. I really think that the Niners are going to be really leaky, and the Falcons should be able to take advantage of that. And they really seem to hit their stride out of the bye last week.
Yeah, but so you think like Penix? It's like he's okay, but I don't know, man. That lefty that's throwing it gives me kind of Tua vibes, where it's just like if anything goes wrong, it's gonna be bad. But Bijan just screen to Bijan. Like Bijan's gonna carry the offense. They're probably gonna load the box. But it's just Bijan, Drake must start. Is there anyone else? Like is Pitts on the radar? Would you start Penix in Super League? Darnell Moody's probably gonna play, but you know.
I would start Penix in a 2 QB league, but I don't think I'm trying to fit Kyle Pitts in. I wouldn't be surprised if he does see like double-digit fantasy points, because there's a ton of pace in this game. These teams are first and third in plays per game in the league this year, so there could be a ton of reps, ton of volume in this one.
Who's second? The Saints?
That sounds right, but
oh yeah, you did the preview. So what else you got? Sunday night preview. So
yeah,
on the Niners side, what are we doing with Juwan Jennings, right? Because Ricky Pearsall might be toast. Kendrick Bourne with Kittle. Can you rank them for fantasy? Or is it just Kittle?
So the Niners are number 1 in the league in pass yards gained on passes in the short and intermediate area of the field. Anything within 19 air yards. The Niners are far and away number 1 by like 40 yards. The Falcons are far and away the best at defending the short and intermediate area of the field. They allow like 120 yards per game to passes in the short and intermediate, whereas the Niners gain 270 per game. So that's a big. I think the Falcons match up really well against the Niners. They are down Jalen Walker this week, so that the Mac Jones may have a little bit more time to throw. But to me, with the
Is it Mac or Purdy though?
It is Mac Jones starting this week.
Oh, it is? Oh my God, Purdy's such a coward.
Purdy is out. They have the bye next week. I'm sure they just want to get him right coming out. They have a winning record still, and it sounded like he was practicing with the injury still bothering him this past week.
Okay.
But to go back to the Niners offense here, I think that with the Falcons are playing single high coverage at a league high rate. That's how they're able to defend the short and intermediate area of the field so well. So to me, that means that something is going to be open vertically for the Niners, and to me, that's all Kendrick Bourne. We saw that he and Mac Jones have a connection that ties back to their Patriots days together. I think that if someone's going to hit for the Niners this week, it's going to be Kendrick Bourne. But I wouldn't be surprised to see George Kittle and CMC still see a ton of dump off looks. Because like I said, with Jalen Walker out, that's a huge difference for their pass rush. They should have a little bit more time to work with.
Yeah, because I think Bourne doesn't have 142 yards in back-to-back games.
Yeah.
That's just nuts. I didn't get him anywhere, but so he's So he's must start, even though the Falcons are, far and away the best kind of passing defense, right? They've allowed 782 passing yards. I mean, that's crazy. It's week 7.
Yeah,
I know they've had the bye week, but
they have. So for reference, the Bengals have allowed 1,100 yards after contact or yards after catch this season, and the Falcons have allowed 214 on the season.
so it's been enough time. So this is a real defense. This is something like you got to fear them for fantasy. So like,
Yeah,
what do you do? Kittle, we're starting. Bourne, we're starting. Jennings, you try and
sit him
get him
if you
out.
can.
I gotta find a way to sit him.
That said, I mean, they're playing single high. He could easily be the one breaking open instead of Kendrick Bourne. So it's going to be there. He's hurt. I just would take Kendrick Bourne over the guy that's hurt.
So I could flex Boutte to get Jennings out. Would you start Bam Knight over Jennings?
I would play Jennings
Oh.
because the pace in this game too. You're going to see a ton of opportunities.
Okay, pace. I like pace. I like pace. Okay. Okay, well, let's go. Just quick on the Monday Nighters. These double Monday Nighters. Do you like it? I mean,
I don't know. It's tough. I like that they're staggered, so you can give each game your full attention. But the start time at
10 p.m. 10 p.m. is
yeah,
starting.
I get a little bit more of a break because I get the 7 p.m. start time. But
I might not even make kickoff.
that's real. I don't even make it to the end of the 5 p.m. game sometimes.
Okay, so I mean, Tampa, Detroit. I mean, it's Baker versus the world. But I don't. There's not even that much to talk about because we don't know what's going to happen. Evans is going to play. Ibuka, who knows? Right,
Like
Bucky's
their
still out.
secondary's banged up.
Yeah.
I think that you just start Baker Mayfield no matter who's out there running routes for him.
Yeah. Okay. And so Detroit, and then so Houston, Seattle again. Kind of a gross game. Houston's allowed 3 passing touchdowns, so I have JSN start. Cooper's out, but like I'm not starting Darnold. Houston, they're on a bye last week, right? It feels like they haven't played forever.
Yeah, they were on a bye.
Think they could they have fixed anything? Like
maybe. I could see the Woody Marks could see more like of a role in the offense with because he's shown the production and they tend to give rookies a little bit of a bump out of the bye week. So I could see him getting more of a stapled rotational role with like a minimum 40% of snaps a week, with the chance to seize the RB1 role for real.
okay, and then there's Ken Walker Charbonnet. It's like a pure timeshare, but Charbs sucks. Like he's not getting anything, but he's getting the goal line work. I've said it a bunch of times, but they're not passing to the running backs. Like Walker is like 12 for 70, but not touchdowns, no receptions. Like would you start Walker or would you start any of the that Arizona Green Bay mess?
Man, you probably start Walker over all of them, but like I would think real hard about playing of starting Emmanuel Wilson against Arizona.
Sad. I took Walker in like the second round in one of my big money leagues.
Yeah.
Right, Texans second best in rush yards, but then the Packers are first in rush yards allowed. Seahawks are third. Jesus. So what what do you do in a game like that? So we got that Seattle, Houston, 2 of the worst O lines, 2 of the best run defenses. So does that mean that neutral pass rate is going to go crazy?
Yeah, I would think so. Like all signs point to I would expect the Texans to just try and air it out as much as they can.
Okay. So do you think a situation like that, does that lean towards the over? Because team's got to pass, you got to incomplete stop the clock, but it's also if you can't run, like maybe it's a lot of 3rd and 8s. So where do you lean in that?
Yeah, I think that you're right. It should tend to neutral pass rate should tend to lead towards the over because you're getting more chunk gains and also stopping the clock simultaneously. So it should. I tend to believe that it would favor the over whenever you're
Okay.
looking to go more.
All right, guys, we're gonna wrap up. Lack of questions today. It's not great. I put that on you. No, I'm just kidding. But we got a great week. Week 7 it should be good. I'm a little scared for my fantasy matchups, but Jamar Chase on Thursday was the best. We should talk about that game a bit. Like Bengals are back, right? At least for a little bit, because
Yeah. Jamar Chase is back for sure.
well, Higgins got a tutty too. But okay, any last things from the Sunday night preview you didn't get in? Did you have a bet or last night?
Yeah, I took Bijan rushing yards, Falcon or Drake London rushing yards or receiving yards. Jesus, and Kendrick Bourne receiving yards to go with the Atlanta money line in this one for plus 916.
Okay. That's gonna do it for us. If anyone didn't get any questions, and you can jump over to our Discord. I will be checking it out before kickoff, or just tweet at me at John Mosales. You got Nate at Nate8714. That'll do it. So hopefully check us out Tuesday, Thursday, and then back next Sunday. Okay.